No worries, Gunner. I mean, it's Super Bowl, mate. You got to pick one team or the other. I really don't have a dog in this fight, but I don't mind the Patriots. Welcome to all and any lurkers. Just a just a short one, guys. I should be setting up the new laptop, but I've been waiting for my son to call to see about some car hunting, but I'm not going to chase him. So I'm sure a few of you will be getting ready for the Super Bowl, following either the Rams or the Patriots. Like I said, I don't have a dog in the fight, but I'm going to be following the Patriots for this one. I know a lot of people think the Rams are playing too well. I just think the Patriots play too well in Super Bowls and not likely to be overwhelmed by it all. Yeah, how you doing, Graham? This is a short one. It's got a hot day here today. I was going to go to the beach earlier, but fell asleep. I can't imagine you being interested in the Super Bowl, Graham, so I won't ask you. NCE. Uh, I was just saying, NC, I don't have a dog in the fight because I'm a Steelers fan, but I always watch the Super Bowl, and so you got to pick someone, I guess. And I just like the Patriots. I think the Rams are probably, like people saying, played better, but Patriots are too experienced in Super Bowls. The Rams may find that overwhelming. I know Tom is getting older, but um, they still have to stop him because he can pull something out of his ass, that guy. I'm taking it, NCE, you're going to be cheering on the Rams. Yeah, I had a feeling you might think that after your first comment, Gunner. Get flushed. Well, like I said, Gunner, I don't have a dog in the fight. I just had to pick a team that, and I don't mind the Patriots. Perhaps if they were playing someone else, I might have followed another team, but I don't know much about the Rams. Pats are the lesser of two evils for me. Yeah, fair enough, NCE. If you don't have a dog in the fight, you're usually going to pick somebody, I guess. Well, it's probably the same in Aussie rules when we have a grand final here. A lot of people don't even bother following it if their team's not in there. Well, NCE, I think that's what you're going to get. I think Patriots have a history of playing well in Super Bowls, and the Rams are in really good form. Yeah, I know this incident with the Saints is ludicrous. That should never have happened. Um, that really poured a bit of cold water on the whole Super Bowl, I guess. And I feel sorry for the Saints. I'd normally pick Rams and wish they do win, but my son's a Saint fan, and yeah, a lot of people probably feel like that. Hey, Dan, how you doing? Um, I really do feel for the Saints. Uh, they're really throwing a curveball, didn't they? Yeah, that's something I'd forgotten about. Weren't they the team that was involved in the underinflated balls or something like that? I'm not sure what that is. Can I remember something about an underinflated or overinflated ball? I think the Pats might have been um, part of that saga. You guys would know more than me, obviously. But I just had to pick a team, mate. And like I said, I don't really know much about the Rams. Yeah, I've heard of a couple of the underinflated balls. Is one that does come to mind pretty quickly. So, so you're going to change my mind here, Gunner, and get me start following the Rams. So I just don't know anything about the Rams. Um, if I mean, I try to see as many games through the season as I can, but I only get the ones that they put on TV here. And there's a few teams I'll take more interest in than others. Yeah, well, Gunner, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Um, the only thing with that is I got really pissed off because I'm a dog lover. Got pissed off with was it Michael Vick? What's his name? Can't think of his name. The guy that was involved in the dog fighting, and he got traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Took him. I really was pissed off about that. I can't think of his name. I think it's something like Michael Vick, or um, I've got a feeling I'm getting the name wrong, but it was several years ago now. But you guys would obviously know his name. Yeah, Raiders. Yeah. Well, I think the teams supply the balls, Graham. I'm not sure that if you're under inflating a ball, um, with their balls, it might be a lot harder to tell than say the Aussie rules. I'm not really sure. Definitely the officials. Yeah, I agree. Graham's right, but again, if you underflate by so much, Gunner, maybe it wasn't so noticeable. It's hard to know. But I remember that incident, and there was another one, but the other one I can't think about it. Can't think doesn't come to mind. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Gunner, it would be hard. I'm sure they're aware of it these days and keep an eye on it. Like NC, though, I just hope that it's a good game and a close game. I think there's a 1 point spread in favour of the Rams. Um, I'll be surprised if it's a 1 point game. But just offhand, Gunner, if the Saints had made it through to the Super Bowl, uh, who would they be playing? Would it be Patriots or the Rams? I never got to see any of the playoff games here. All right, so they would have been playing the Patriots. Okay. So really the Rams, even though they were playing well, they got a kind of a wild card into the Super Bowl. Okay, cool. Thanks for that. I mean, it's good that the Rams are there. It's not a team that you see in the Super Bowl a lot. Oh, I can't remember ever seeing the Rams in the Super Bowl from memory. And the last few years, I haven't got to see too many games really. This year, I've seen a few games through the season. That was it. Yeah, I thought so, Gunnar. I can't remember the last time I can remember the Rams being in there. So, I mean, it's good to see different teams get there. Yeah, Ray. Yeah, it's been the talk of the town, hasn't it? One bad decision has cost them the game. You hate seeing that. You know, um, refs should have no input into the result of a game, and obviously they did in that one. Yeah, I'm not surprised, Gunner. But I mean, it's good to have them there now. Have a different team up there. Um, would have been nice to have the Rams and someone else other than the Patriots. No, it's all good, Gunner. Even with the typos, I usually know what you guys are talking about. But like NCE said, I just hope it's a close game. So you got the Rams in LA, but I remember the Rams being somewhere else. Am I wrong there? Was they? Because I remember when the Raiders were the LA Raiders, and I can vaguely remember Rams being somewhere else. It's crazy. Rams won St. Louis. Okay, thanks, Ray. Yeah, trusty. It's been a long time. I can barely remember them originally from LA. Okay. Oh, Graham, it would be hard to get away with too much. Hey, Crystal, how you doing? You know, I think there's always going to be that conspiracy thing about big sports and big money, but at the end of the day, when it comes to the Super Bowl, um, I think you're not going to see too many people guys throwing a game or good to hear, Crystal. I don't think you're going to see guys throwing a game or the refs cheating anyway. Although I still can't believe the Saints won. Yeah, well, Gunner, they had I was listening to the radio the other day. CBS have the rights or something, and it's $5 million for a 30-second ad if you want to advertise. So just in advertising alone, you imagine what that's worth. Just in the TV advertising. Raiders are going to be physically in Vegas. Yeah. I mean, we've had that over here. Teams being relocated out of Melbourne to other states, but it does seem to happen a little bit more in the NFL. Yeah, gambling's always a worry on any game. Hey, Marnie, how you doing? So I'm not sure how long I'll be on, guys. I know this computer will eventually heat up. Uh, I should be uh, setting up the new laptop today, but I'm waiting for my son to call so we can go buy a car. But I'm not going to chase him up. He's 21 years old enough to take a bit of responsibility himself. No, Gunner, still not on it. I was out yesterday a lot of the time with my son looking for a car. We're supposed to be doing the same today, otherwise I'd probably just have it sitting here and setting it up. But I did change my icon. You've got a nickel on the Rams. Oh shit. Yeah, Gunner, I'm not going to chase him, man. And I told him yesterday, I'm happy to help him. He's got to help himself as well. Halfway through car hunting yesterday, he decided he has to take off to meet a friend. that really annoyed me. So I'm running around in 36-degree heat looking for a car, help him find a car, and he wants to take off to see one of his mates. But he's 21 years old and, you know, spoilt rotten, I guess. Yeah, Gunner, the same thing with footy. I've had private bets with, guys, friends. Um, I'm not really into gambling. I've had a few bets over the years on the Melbourne Cup, which is once a year here in Australia. Yeah, exactly, Gunner. He should. Um, but arguing with a 21-year-old kid's like talking to the wall, so not worth getting stressed out a bit. I'm probably too lenient at times, being the fact that he's my only son, so let him get away with too much. And his mother don't give a shit about him, so that really bugs me. Yeah, Gunner, same deal, mate. Exactly the same deal. Yeah, I guess it's my own fault in a lot of ways, and being the only my only son is to spoil him rotten. Yeah, well, that's all I can do, Gunner. You know, just be here and help him when he needs it. Shit happens, boys. Kind of always a little surprised though, because just was a good mum when he was younger. Um, she only got the one boy. Yeah, yeah, that was funny, Gunner. I meant to write back to you, but I fell asleep. Look for any ancient mags extractors. Yeah, that would be nice, Graham. I wish. Yeah, eating the groundhog. It's a gutsy looking dog. Um, I tell you what would be cool, Graham. I find him a Sandman panel van, but shit, the prices of those things are crazy. I did have a look at Baby Hippo. He looks a big, solid boy. What I see, a WB Statesman, Graham. If they didn't want so much for it, I probably would have got him something like that. But again, he can't drive a V8 anyway. So, but we were looking at some six-cylinder Statesmans. Yeah, he's when we went to the car yard, Gunner. The first car he went over to look at was a bloody BMW of all things. I just looked at him and said, just shook my head and like, nah, buying you a BMW. I mean, it was pretty cheap actually for what it was, but being cheap means there's probably something wrong with it. Yeah, I hope he's learned his lesson about that. I mean, he was really upset about it, but I tried to explain to him, it happens. That's why insurance here for under 25s is really expensive because, lots of kids under 25 are having those little accidents. I'm just, personally was just glad that he didn't get hurt. That's all I was worried about. I'd like to get him a station wagon because then I can use it later on for the dog. Yeah, I started teaching Luke to drive. Yeah, I'm not sure, Grant. I think V8s are not allowed full stop. No V8s or turbos. Um, so I'm not sure. But Gunner, sometimes it's easier for someone else to teach them. I mean, I was pretty all good teaching Luke how to drive when he first got in the car for the first time. Um, yeah, what it is, Gunner, is when you first get a probationary license, when you first get your license, you're not allowed to drive anything high powered. So no V8s, no turbos. There is a power to weight ratio formula they use. I'm not sure what it is, but under 25, you're restricted now from driving high powered cars. Too many kids were writing themselves off in things like the Nissan Skylines and that. So they finally had enough and restricted them. I think the first year of driving, they're only allowed to drive with one person in the car unless it's family. So they can only have one friend in the car until their second year of their probationary license because they're on probationary for 2 years. Yeah, Graham, that would be nice if you could find one. Uh, I did find it. I was looking myself not long ago, HXHZ. Even a beat up one's 5 or 6 grand. Yeah, I thought it was too high too, Gunner. But I guess what they went on was accident statistics, and they found 25 and under was where they're having some serious problems with uh, the high power car accidents. So with that age group. I can imagine, Ray. I mean, when I was a driving instructor, I did teach some Filipinos, but they were pretty cool. Their husbands would spend a bit of time with them, and so they'd done a bit of driving. The worst ones, well, I won't say the worst, but the hardest to teach for me was a lot of the Sudanese who'd never even been in a car before. No, it's not that much to spend on a car, Graham, but that's 6K on a car that you'd still have to spend money on, and it's for my son. So, and although I told him I'll buy it for him while his car's getting fixed, and then I'll be taking it back to use for the dog. So, I really just want an old Commodore wagon, Graham, that I could throw the dog in later on because I don't want to throw the 2 cars I've got now. It's not really good to throw her in those, especially being a white-haired, all white-haired dog. Bloody white hair everywhere. Which reminds me, you've got to get the doggy wash out this week, I think. Time for her to get a doggy wash. Might even go and buy a Beavis butt munch. You're quiet in the background there, Crystal. Is it late at night for you over there? Just checking his computer. She's warm, but not too hot at the moment. We'll get a bit more time out of this. Six. Ah, you're all right. You're laughing. Good time. So I've got to try and remember all these times, Crystal, so I know when it's a good time to do the streams because I want to catch, the guys from the UK, the guys from the US. Your late grandmother. Yeah, over here, some of the rudest drivers on the road I'm finding are, um, and I don't want, I'm probably going to sound racist. I'm not trying to be, but as a driving instructor, you see all types on the road. Is Indian drivers can be pretty bad, and Muslim women. Um, I'm not sure if they've paid for their licenses or not because they're not the best drivers. Um, how you doing, Bobo Risotto? Yeah, I wish, mate. I wish I looked like him. I wish I had his talent, and I wish I had his money. But unfortunately, it's no to all of the above. Well, got to be honest, Crystal. I don't want to piss down anyone's back and tell them it's raining. Yeah, he's definitely like Hall of Fame. But I guess for me, being a Steelers fan, Terry Bradshaw in his day when he finally hit his straps was another great quarterback. Dan Marino. Um, there's been some great quarterbacks over the years. Yeah, it's hard to say the greatest, and even harder for me because I'm outside looking in. Um, yeah, I'm a Steelers fan, Bobo. Mainly because in the 70s when I was a kid, we had a Hawaiian school teacher who started up a American football team at our school, and we played between I think six schools in the state. And when I started watching back in the early 70s, it was Steelers, and they had the same colours, the black and gold, as the Aussie Rules team I followed here in Adelaide. So that was a just a just a follow on to support them. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you've got a good quarterback's everything in it, but at the same time, if your quarterback doesn't get the time to get rid of that ball, there's not a lot he can do. He needs that team around him. He needs guys who can protect him and guys who can catch that ball. Which I'm not surprised. Not surprised. Uh, Oh, geez. Here we go. Alzheimer's set in. I was just reading what Beavis Buttmuch was saying and forgot what I was going to say. Oh, that's right. I'm not surprised that the Aussies have a few kickers that have made the NFL. Darren Bennett was one of them. I think he might have got a couple of Super Bowls with the team he was playing with. But I'm a little bit surprised that when it comes to your receivers, that you don't have more Aussies in there um, because of Aussie rules. You know, obviously the kicking that's shown with kickers, but their catching ability, I thought for sure you might have more Aussies, you know, getting positions of wide receivers in NFL teams because of their ability, especially to take the ball overhead. Just trying to place Aaron Rodgers. He's the bearded guy. Yeah, well, they've had the same coach for a long time, haven't they, Ray? Can't think of his name, but I know he's been a coach for a long time now. They seem to promise a lot, but never in recent years don't don't give the supporters a lot to hope for. They can start off well and then they just die. Green Bay's a team I don't mind. I'm not sure how it is now, but not a few years back I was reading the Green Bay were the most successful team in the NFL. Yeah, yeah, he's the guy with the beard. Um, so the problem is if I just don't see enough games here all year. If I get my own place, I might get Foxtel and get the Sport Channel and then be able to watch all the games. You know, this year I actually enjoyed the NFL games I've seen more than the Aussie rules. But yeah, I can picture Aaron Rodgers now that he's the bearded guy. Always looks like he's lost $1 million when he comes off the field. So, guys, who are you guys all picking to win the Super Bowl? I personally think it's going to be a close game, and I think Patriots might just get it. Although people keep reminding it how well the Rams have been playing, I just think the Patriots' experience in the Super Bowl might play a part. Yeah, that's who I'm going with, Beavis. Okay, yep. Miller or Budweiser. I would be surprised if they didn't say something to players about that. I mean, that'd have to be a big no-no over there, Graham. You know what it's like here, Graham, when they line up at grand finals for the national anthem, you know? These players stand there, hands behind their back. And, Jedi, how you doing, mate? Who's your pick for the Super Bowl, Jedi? We got Beavis and Ray picking New England. I think the Patriots myself, just by a small amount. Yeah, well, I don't think at any time you should be disrespecting the national anthem. I mean, surely it can't be that hard to stand there and at attention while it's being played. I can't work that one out. You know, I'm not hugely patriotic myself, I guess, but I think if your national anthem's playing and you I guess there's been a lot of players, Jedi, that have done that. How long have we gone for, guys? 42 minutes, probably got another 10 minutes left before I overheat and disappear. If I don't hear from this boy soon, I'm just going to sit here and do my new laptop, I think. Yeah, there are some of those boys are on big money. I'm not sure if that goes for the whole team, but definitely some high flying players there. I'm not sure if they get paid as well as the basketball, but then again, basketball got less players to pay. Yeah, Jedi, they've got a big thing about it over here, and I think it was what happened in the NFL and the studies that came out of the NFL that now dictate the rules that we have here in Australian rules football. If you receive a concussion, uh, you miss the next game, mandatory, and you've got to be cleared by a doctor. I think the game got so to the point where there's so much money involved, they didn't care about the players anymore. If you got a concussion, they just put you back in the next week, no matter what. And you know, there's lots of guys that have suffered from their head injuries, or the effects of it later and down in life. So, but here now in Australia, they've because of the NFL, they've hit on it. You reckon the Patriots? Yeah, I think so too. And I don't think it'll be a blowout though, Jedi. I think it'll be a close game. No, concussions are no joke. And like I said, it was because of a study done by the NFL, you guys, that made the Australian Football League take notice, the AFL here, and put in a whole new rules about it. Well, Jedi, it seems that the the Rams have a favourite. Um, I found it a little bit surprising, but um, they're supposed to be favourites. Yeah, yeah. With all that money, they should be gonna. The same with the AFL here. Yeah, a lot of those players too. I wonder how many of them suffer depression after being involved in such a huge sport like that, and then trying to fit back into everyday life. I'm sure it's not easy. Some never leave the limelight, I guess, but others sort of just melt back into a normal life, which wouldn't be easy. Yeah, I imagine hockey would be another one. Yeah, someone said they were 1 point favourite, um, but I was a little bit surprised, mainly because of the Patriots' record in Super Bowls. I mean, they get there a lot. Someone said earlier, 94, 95 for the Rams. So, I mean, it'd be good to see a different team win it, that's for sure. Like I said, I don't have a dog in the fight, so to me, it doesn't matter too much. But I'm just following the Patriots. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, those studies that they did over there have affected the Australian rules football. Um, we're very heavy on the concussion thing now. If they're concussed, they don't go back on the field. They mandatory have to miss the next game, and they have to be cleared by a doctor before they can get back on the field again. Yeah, Jedi. That's so true. I just want to see a really good game, a really close game. Nothing worse than seeing a blowout. The only time I want to see a blowout is if the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing and it's in their favour. Then I don't care how much they win by as long as they're winning. But it might be a while before I see the Steelers back up there. No, Beavis, no, actually, they have a similar issue with the players headering the ball. Um, yeah, that's right, Jetto. All contact sports are the same. Rugby have the same issues and that. But soccer players, surprisingly, they get the issue because of the headering of the soccer ball. So I'm not sure it's as severe as, say, NFL or the Australian football rules or rugby. Yeah, well, the thing is, Beavis, it's they could all those soccer players should be up for Girly of the Year awards. The way some of them carry on, um, unbelievable. They take dives. Um, they create havoc in the middle of a field, like when they pretend to be injured, and someone comes out, sprays a little bit of something, and they're up running around like nothing ever happened. And 2 minutes earlier, they look like they're about to die or had a broken leg. Yeah, Gunner, and that's the problem, especially with the NFL, where guys were getting concussions and playing again next week, which you know they're just getting bang after bang in the head. Yeah, exactly, Jedi, and that's where they got the issue is their head injuries are coming from the headering of a ball. Oh God, no, 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 no. you wouldn't call Vinnie Jones. And there's a couple others. Remember the French soccer player who played for Man United? The guy that karate kicked someone in the crowd one time. He was a pretty rough sort of fella. I can't think of his name at the moment. You might remember if you know Vinnie Jones. You probably remember who I'm talking about downtown. Yeah, many two actors. Cantona, Eric Cantona. Thank you, downtown. He was another madman. I remember Nike did a commercial. This is years ago, where they put us. Um, they had a soccer team playing all these demons, and like the devil was the. Hey, how you doing, Nathan? The devil was the goalie, and all the referees were blind, and they were getting smashed. Ah, we got a Rams man. Good on you, Randall. Um, and then the last part of the commercial was the ball being passed to Cantona, and it just says "au revoir" as he kicks the ball and straight through the stomach of this demon. Um, if you look up Nike commercial with Eric Cantona, you might find if you can find the full version, it's excellent. No, no, I wouldn't want to be kicked by a soccer player either, Nathan. They get some power behind those balls. I mean, that's all they're doing. It's the same like an NFL player or a rugby player. You wouldn't want one of those guys running into you flat out. They'd knock you into the middle of next week. Yeah, I don't. I'm not much into the women's soccer, or we got the women's football here now, and I'm not much into that. In fact, probably not a real game for women. But I'm sounding sexist, but I mean it's only been going a few years, I guess, here, and we've already had one woman die after a game from a collision. Gaza from England. I tell you what, the real shame was the alcoholic one was Georgie Best. You know, between him and Pele, it's hard to pick the best ever. I mean, most people will pick Pele, Paul Gascoigne. He was a captain too, wasn't he, of England? Was it Gascoigne captain of England or? um, Oh God, the finger in the bum tactics, yeah, or the biting of people's ears, Nathan. That rugby's crazy, man. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was captain there at one stage, Jedi. There's been so many, I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo. God, what's that guy's worth these days as a player? Some of the money that those soccer players, or English football players make is sensational. Wouldn't mind getting half the money they get. Be happy. Yeah, yep. And went to play for Man United, and I mean the guy was just off the planet with his skills. As I said, it's a shame that he went down the road he did with alcohol. Definitely up there with Pele. Oh, Nathan, that's that's just rude, Nathan. Oh God, a lot of those New Zealand boys are huge. Those Maori boys. In fact, there's one now. I think he's like Joe Lomu. Yeah, Jonah Lomu, wasn't it? Um, There's a guy now, I think, playing in the NFL. He's like 6'6". He's a Maori. Yeah, Jonah Lomu. He was a monster. But if you're a rugby follower, and I mean, I just follow the Australian team now and again, but the All Blacks are, you know, they're a monster side. You wouldn't want to hit a pub where all those guys are drinking together. He was an Islander. I thought he was. I thought he was a Maori, but again, you probably know better, Nathan. Yeah, some of those guys do. I'm surprised that we're not getting more of those Maoris Tongan. Okay. I'm surprised you don't get more of those guys playing in the NFL because they're as tough as nails, mate. Um, Getting hit by some of them guys be getting hit by a freight train, and they can take the hits as well. Maybe eventually we'll start seeing more rugby players flow over into the NFL, maybe Aussie rules footballers as well. Well, Downtown saying he's Tongan, so he's probably right. But all those islanders and the Maoris, mate, they're built like brick shithouses. Yeah, big, huge guys who can run. Yeah, Samoan. I said those Pacific Islanders, mate. They're monsters. You know, they got that natural size to them. You know, I mean, I remember meeting a mate come back from Queensland, a place called Tully, where he was up there eating bananas and shit like that, and came back with a couple of Thursday Islanders. Man, these guys had looked like they'd been weightlifting all their lives, and none of them had ever lifted up a weight. Yeah, I thought he was Maori Jedi. I always thought he was a Maori. Yeah, the Samoans are big boys, tough as nails, mate, like the Maoris. But we see that now with the New Zealand All Blacks. Tough team to beat at any time. They're just monsters. But I'm not a big rugby follower. I watch the State of Origin games. Yeah, a lot of big guys like that downtown because they're still putting in the same calories, I guess, and not working out and training like they do. So it happens to a lot of guys, even footballers. It happens to here not that long ago. Yeah, yeah. I tell you what, Jedi. After you turn 30, mate, the world flashes past. Well, that's true, Nathan. But if you Google it, it'll probably have his birth. I mean, it's the same here. We get lots of guys in the Australian team, Nathan, who um, the hereditary. You can follow their lines back to the Islanders and shit like that, but now become Australian citizens and play for us. Like the days of Costa Zoo when he used to fight for Australia under the Australian flag, but from Siberia. 75 he was born. So he's in his late 40s, mid 40s, I guess. Yeah, it'd be mid 40s. But I would like to see some of those big Islander boys and Maoris playing NFL. Yeah, over here, Jedi. So I'm not big on rugby, but I'll watch the State of Origin. That name I was thinking of before for the Steelers, the guy that I didn't like who was involved in the dogfighting, that's Michael Vick, in that. Michael Vick was the guy that got busted for all that shit. Really disappointed when the Steelers took him on. Wow, that's pretty cool. It's shown the respect. Yeah, the haka. That's what Downtown was just talking about. They do the haka before every game. Imagine back in the times gone by, having to fight those guys and watching them do that shit before you fight them. The Sizzler in an Islander suburb went broke because the Islanders ate them out of all-you-can-eat salad bar. I imagine not, Randall. Like I said, I met a couple of Thursday Islanders, and no bullshit, they were the happiest, nicest guys you could meet. Just fighting was the last thing on their mind. But I imagine that if you tried to take them on, you would have got into trouble real quick because these guys were just built like tanks, mate. Just naturally built that way, and it would take a lot to hurt them. Yeah, they're all big boned. I don't know if it's got something to do with their diet or what, but they are huge people. I mean, and I don't mean huge fat wise, but I'm talking about just big boned and you know, guys have got chests and arms like weightlifters. Yeah, then you see the brothers. But for the most part, the ones I've met have all been really nice people. Careful how you say that, Gunner, in case one's listening, mate. You don't want one of them come chasing you down. Yeah, I'm not sure about the spiritual thing. Yeah, they're tough as nails, Randall. Well, you don't even want to mess with the nice ones, Jedi, because I'm sure they can look after themselves. But um, you know, yeah, that's like Randall said. They're crazy strong guys, but usually mellow, and they're more out to just have a good time, and they're smiling. And but I wouldn't want to get on their wrong side because they're just so big and strong. Yeah, it's a natural strength. Like these two Thursday Islanders that I met. we went and met my friend in the bar because he just got back from Tully in Queensland, and we met him in a bar in Rundle Mall, and these two guys were with him. Yeah, I know, gonna. And I mean, these guys looked like they'd been pushing weights, mate. Their biceps were so huge, and big-chested guys. But talking to them, they'd never pushed a weight in their life. Yeah, yeah. If you got one of those guys go bad, then you're looking for a lot of trouble. I remember there was a guy, and I think he was Samoan in the in the wrestling back in the days called Haku, and because my son loves all that shit, and we are watching a documentary, and they were asking all these wrestlers who was the guy that would be the most dangerous outside of the ring, like for real. And they all said this Haku guy, this Samoan guy, and they said they'd been in bars and seen him fight, and nobody wanted a piece of this guy. And that comes from some of these big, massive guys. Some of them could fight, but they would all mention Haku as the one guy that you had to be worried about. He was a Samoan, and I mean, he was a big boy, but some of these other guys were a lot bigger, but they still didn't want to mess with him. Jimmy Thunder, I remember that name. Yeah, yeah. Jeez, that's gone back a little bit. NRL player going from to take up an NFL contract. Valentine Holmes from Cronulla Sharks. That's cool. I think we'll see more of that happen in the future downtown. Yeah, did I? That was crazy shit, man. Um, he fucking decked him pretty quickly too. Um, that was a good movie. And then you actually get to see the towers, those guys who tattoo their faces, half their face or their full face, and man, those boys are crazy. And it has been a hard time for the Maoris, come from a background of being warriors and suddenly trying to fit into the civilization as we see it. Hey, Gene, how you doing? You're up early. What are you doing? You're supposed to be sleeping. Andrew B, how you doing? Yeah, just I'm not sure how long I've been gone for. Maybe a few weeks. Um, Originally did it to sort of take a bit of pressure off of focus, having to do shows all the time. Have school. Okay, Gene. Yeah, yeah, Randall, that's so true. They are. And when you meet them for the first time, if you don't know, they are the friendliest people. All right, take it. Take care, Nathan. How are you anyway, Andrew B? Yeah, they are gonna. They are nice people. Like I said, the two Thursday Islanders that I met, yeah, you couldn't find nicer guys, and we had a great night, mate. It was funny too how this guy John, who came back from Tully with these two guys, how he met them. They were in a banana plantation, and they where you use a machete to chop down the banana trees to harvest the bananas, and they were doing that. And he had this big Thursday Islander next to him, and you know, John would turn around to smile at this guy. And John was a big boy. He's a motocrosser, so pretty fit too. And the Samoan just working his guts out. Didn't bother giving him really a second look, and he said he looked pretty mean. But at one stage, John looked over at him, and the Samoan, sorry, the Thursday Islander was looking at him, and John thought he threw his machete at him. But what had happened was there was a snake in the bloody on the ground near John, and this Thursday Islander cut the snake in half with his bloody machete. First thing John thought was this guy's throwing his machete at him, and he shit himself. That's how they then got to talking and become mates. And yeah, him and another Thursday Islander came down with him to Adelaide for a while. David Tour. Oh God, no, you weren't forgetting that name. Like I said, I don't watch a lot of the rugby. I watch league before I watch union. Union just a little bit. Um, I think rugby league's a little bit faster paced. And like I said, I'll really watch the games that I get into the state of origin between Queensland and New South Wales. They tend to be the good games. We see the best of the best from each state. Yeah, it's a shame. I'd really like. I mean, it's crazy how the NFL label the Super Bowl team as the world champions. Sergine, I'd really like to see other countries take up NFL in a big way, and then actually see the winners of the Super Bowl play the winners of leagues from around the world. That would be great. I just don't see that happening for a long, long time, though. I know we play um, NFL over here, but it's probably college level compared to you guys. Yeah, in Queensland, is you find a heap of them working downtown, and they're good workers too, mate. I remember John telling me, and I said John was a motocrosser, and those motocross guys are fit as really fit, and he said these guys would just work non-stop, which is surprising considering the size of them. Yeah, good workers. But shit, how old was I? I would have been like 19 when I met them, so talking a long, long time ago. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, uh, Beavis. I remember my mate, he was pretty good. He rode A grade here in Australia, and his fitness was just out of this world. But then, you're cruising around that track and throwing that bike around. What have we got? Surprised this computer hasn't dropped out, guys. How long have we gone for? 76 minutes. Well, it's impressive. It hasn't carked out yet, but it probably will. I still haven't heard from the boy. Probably sleeping his ass off under the air conditioning. Lazy shit. There's no difference when I was 21. Yeah, that's an interesting question. Downtown, what would be the most physically demanding? Yes, Randall. And I actually watched a live stream. I seen you on there last night. I didn't say nothing. I just watched. He was cooking his first home cooked meal at home there. He made the a rack of lamb, and that looked pretty good. And watched a couple of other videos. One where he's at a birthday for the youngest sister, um, and another one was at a strip joint. Seems like a pretty funny guy. I tell you what, his girlfriend is gorgeous, but the younger sister um, that he was sitting across from at the birthday party, she is hot as. Probably too young, but still very hot. Yeah, I guess his son's a bit pissed off about the Saints. But yeah, I have got to see a few of his videos now, Randall. Definitely got charisma. He's got a hottie girlfriend, that's for sure. I was tell you what, the one where he was in the restaurant with his the first time I think he said it goes out went out with the mother-in-law. Um, those Filipino guys singing, could they sing, man? Yeah, his girlfriend is drop dead gorgeous, and her sister, the one that was sitting across from her, she's gorgeous too. Got a set of lungs on her. How you doing, Simple Joys? How you doing, mate? Hope everything's good for you. You do mummer as well, Randall. Oh God. Yeah, but I'll be watching more of his videos and that. And like I said, I caught the live stream and I've caught a few of his videos. Seems to do like the 20, 30 minute mark. So yeah, not too bad here, except it's 37 degrees here today. Simple joys, maybe even hotter, I'm not sure, but a little bit warm. Yeah, I'm sure they do, Gunner. Here you go, guys. Simple Joys, an Aussie vlogger. Um, go check his channel out. Show some support to his channel. It's kind of a fun channel where they just kind of doing fun things and without all the drama. Ah, you're lucky. It's hot here. Simple joys. We had a few cool days. It was perfect weather. And yesterday was warmer, and today warmer again. I sort of expect that. And February's pretty well a hot month here. Yeah, she seemed very shy. I mean, now and again you get a smile out of her. Very pretty though. She looked like a real hottie Jedi. Yeah, simple joys, no drama. Just a fun channel, which is a nice change. But there are a couple of Aussie guys. If you want to check them out, Simple Joys. As I said, they just have fun, more family orientated, no drama. Yeah, Jedi, she does have a nice rack. Um, she can spend all my money. Next time you see, next time you talk to him, tell him you know a guy that is willing to waste his money on her. But I'm not sure she's even uh, old enough. She still looks fairly young. But I'd definitely waste my money on her. Although I probably wouldn't call it a waste, but so I'll just say I'd happily spend my money on her. She definitely looked like a real hottie. Um, that Ben, oh, I can't think of his last name now. Guy Randall was talking about earlier, just sub to his channel. His girlfriend is really hot, but her sister, wow, she's a hottie too, mate, with a really nice rack. That's it. That's the one, Beavis. Ah, Jesus, Jedi, I'm gonna have to rush over there now. It's gonna be a race. Okay. Yeah, I thought he said his girlfriend is 20, so I'm assuming she'd have to be around that 17, 18. But if she's 20, you'd think a couple of years between them, maybe 18, yeah, maybe going on 19. Yeah, the race is on. Thanks, Jedi. You're going to cut my lunch for me. Uh, yeah, no worries. Simple joys, all good. I went out a bit earlier for food and some coffee. Yeah, Gunner, that's kind of that'd be the way to go though. Um, definitely wouldn't have a problem going out that way. But definitely, his videos are worth watching. He's definitely charismatic and yeah, pretty down to earth, and does seem to throw a lot of money around. Um, he's not shy about that, and if you've got it, flaunt it. I guess you might as well enjoy it while you can. So good on him. Can't blame the guy. Hell, if I If I got hold of his girl's younger sister there, I'd be spending money like shit too. Okay, Jedi. Done deal. Done deal, mate. And I don't mind losing out to you at all, Jedi. Exactly downtown. Exactly. What's the point? Yeah, well, yeah, he does. He's got charisma, Randall. He's always smiling. He seems to be always happy. Um, Definitely looks like he really enjoys himself when he gets out there. So it definitely comes across in his videos. So thanks for uh, pointing him out, Randall, because said I've enjoyed what I've seen so far, and I was in that live stream, but didn't say nothing, which I probably should have. Uh, but enjoying the videos that I'm watching. We must have thrown some money around though to be able to take video in that strip joint. I definitely haven't seen him being rude or overbearing or anything like that. He's just very charismatic. 82,000 peso. Woo. Yeah, well, I mean, what, he just shouting all the girls' drinks and he didn't seem to give a shit. Watch the show. Didn't see him earlier. I seen him the other day. But to each his own, Beavis. I don't have problems with Jay. I like Jay. Yeah, Gunner. Yeah, it does. Geez, 82,000 pesos in 2 hours. Wow. Exactly, Jedi. I think you're right. Enjoy it while you can, mate. I mean, I don't have a problem making sure my son's looked after and that, but he's already got dibs on my GT, so he reckons that's going to be his. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, any guys not sub to that Benny's channel, get in there and have a look at him. I asked in another channel, I asked in another's live stream, how's rehab going? I'm not sure who you're talking about, Randall. Yeah, true, Jedi. Oh, roast beef sandwich. That sounds nice. Was Benny in rehab? What? Doesn't seem to be. Yeah. Likes drinking his beer. Exactly, Graham. Gunner. It will be. Junior. How you doing? Okay, just joking with him. Yeah, you're waiting for me to take everyone's wrenches away and just leave yours, aren't you, Junior? Imagine the havoc in here then if you were the only one with a wrench. Oh my God. Yeah, his trigger finger's always itchy, Gunner. Yeah, Beavis, that's the best way to do it. Take it with a grain of salt. Remember, yeah, guys get on live streams or on their videos when they do their vlogging and they put a persona over. It might not be actually how they are in real life. Safety in numbers. GTS. You like your Holden's simple joys. I actually got a 69 Falcon GT, um, but I got a Commodore VY 5.7 litre that I just run around in. But I'm going to get another car as well. Yeah, it's cool driving around in the 5.7 litre. Just watch the petrol gauge go down though. I've got my son every day asking to bloody drive the thing. I've let him get away with it a couple of times and just drive around here and there, but he's got to be careful because he's on P's. He's not supposed to be driving V8. No, Gunner, I know you wouldn't get butt hurt. HO. Yeah, GDHO. Well, you keep sticking to that, Randall. Don't let them break you down. Yeah, pass everything on the road but a service station. That's very true. And it's kind of funny, because the GT, I spent a lot of money on that engine, uh, and it's only the 4.9 or the 302 Windsor, but it's actually faster than the 5.7 litre Commodore I got now, but even worse on petrol. So I've got two cars at the moment that like drinking the fuel, and I only use a high octane in both of them. Yeah, yeah, I'm happy for them too, Jedi. Um, I thought I better throw a super chat at him. So I think you're there anyway. This morning I threw just $20 his way. So hopefully that'll help him out a little bit. He's had a few guys sending a little bit to him. Yeah, I've heard that before, Beavis, about the Windsors. You had to be careful. I could only do so much to it because if you once you get over to a certain, once you get up closer to say like the 500 horsepower on them, you can split the blocks. Yeah, Gunner. When I was in Oklahoma, um, one of my friends over there, he bought one, the Chevelle Malibu. It was a 327. There's like it come out the showroom, mate. It belonged to a minister. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure it would, Graham. There's E39, E49. Um, but at the end of the day, mate, it was a straight line car. try and get that thing around a track, mate. Wouldn't come close to a HO on a racetrack. So underrated, yeah, in straight line speed. Um, and I'm not sure if it was the E39, E49 at the time was faster down the quarter mile than the HOs and the A9Xs or the L34s, one of those two. But just not good on a racetrack. Yeah, it's like the Beavis, the Ford engine was, I tell you what was underrated was the 289 V8. That thing was high revving. Well, get one now, Gunner, while you still can and while it's still cheap. Because cars like that are just going to go up in value. You know, they're going to get rarer and rarer. Oh, I mean, I know in the US you guys have got, like much bigger market and lots of them over there, but eventually they're going to become rare as hen's teeth. Starting to get rarer and rarer over here. Hell, I'd take my 14.9. Okay, I reckon that the HO was around that 14-second mark somewhere. I thought the E49 might have been quicker than that, but I know the HOs are around the 14-second mark down the quarter mile. So HO might have been quicker than the E49 down the quarter. I know the HO was the fastest production four-door production car in the world when it was built back in '71. That was the Phase 3, 14.7. Yeah, okay. I can't remember what a HO was, but I know that a HO was also in the 14-second range. And, we're talking early '70s cars, which is pretty crazy. 15.1 was it? I thought it hit the 14s. Okay, no worries. Might even look it up again. Because I thought they were in the 14-second range. Yeah, the Chargers were a nice car, and the mate had a RT. Yeah, yeah, easy to look up. Mate had an RT Charger, which was the 265 with the triples. That thing was a monster, mate. That thing could really hook up. It's funny now, all the cars tend to look the same, and it's not the same anymore. That's for sure. That '60s, '70s period for muscle cars was what an era. I still like the Dodge Charger. But I was always growing up. I was always a Ford person. The Holden I got now is uh, only the second Holden I've ever owned. Back when I was a kid, I had the HT Monaro for a while. No, they're not the same gunner. I mean, yeah, they handling and performance, they're probably, pretty good, but they just don't have that same look. Yeah, Mexican Jew, you wouldn't last 5 minutes on a football field or a rugby field. Yeah, the triple Webbers, the 265 with triple Webbers. Kind of funny, Aussie rules football's rugby for women. My God, obviously someone doesn't know much about those sports. What kind of football though, MJ? When you say football, you're talking about English football, Aussie rules football, American football. The worst NFL team would be champs in rugby. Bullshit. Nah, totally two different games, man. Way different. I tell you what, you if you watch State of Origin and some of those guys hit each other without the pads, mate, just as hard. Hey, Michael. Yeah, it seems that we are now. Hey, Lefty, how you doing? Yeah, State of Origins. I like watching State of Origin. Rugby players are too small and too slow, mate. You just got a rugby player playing in the NFL now, mate, who's 6'6" and probably 250 pounds or exactly, Michael. Exactly. Yeah, simple joys. I mean, I'm not a big rugby fan, um, but I will watch the State of Origin. Um, they're great games to watch. Yeah, exactly. Laugh out loud. They're huge guys. Some of them rugby players. Well, I think MJ is because the rugby players here have been an untapped resource for the NFL. I think you might find you're a shit talker, MJ. Mate, I'd hate to see you in a bar with the New Zealand All Blacks and say shit like that. They'd pick you up by your foot. They'd be grabbing you by your ankles, mate, and shaking all that money out of you. Some of them boys are giants, mate. Yeah, the All Blacks are impressive, very much so. They're monsters. Some of the Maoris, uh, they're strong, just natural strength, like the Pacific Islanders. Hard as hard guys. I mean, you made that mistake once under what was that, Lefty? And don't think I'm putting the NFL players down, MJ, because I'm an NFL fan, so uh, I have full appreciation of the size and the athletic ability of those guys. Yeah, exactly downtown. It's a totally different game. It's a bit like even rugby union to rugby league is a different game. I'm not a big union fan. I prefer the rugby league. Like I said, I really like the state of origin. So far we've had one guy, Randall, pick the Rams for tomorrow. Yeah, I've seen that. Is that still around, Beavis? Yeah, downtown. I'm not a Union fan. Um, it's more a game of scrums and a little bit slower. I'm not so sure, Michael. I mean, if you look at teams like New Zealand, it's hard to get past those boys in that game, and it's one thing to be able to give a hit. You got to be able to take those hits too, and those boys are just naturally tough. Well, it might become one day, Gunner. Like I'd like to see NFL become bigger around the world. Okay, we've got Junior going for the Rams as well. So we got Junior and Randall. Oh, they were Gunner. If Americans got into rugby, definitely they'd be competitive. They'd be up there. LeBron James. You're going to get those guys, Michael, who are just natural uh, athletes who could probably play any game. And I'm sure there's guys in the NFL who uh, could have taken up any sport and been successful at it. You're going to get those freaks who are just, would be good at anything. Steps on Tom Brady's head. Jesus Junior. Yeah, well, that's it. Rugby it is pretty hard hitting, and the guys can give out a hit, um, but they can take hits too. Um, but like Michael was saying, totally different game, and Downtown was saying, they're totally different games. Oh, I didn't know that, Graham. That's interesting. Definitely, yeah, would have the money. The talent you could put down to the fact that it's just not a big game there, so they're not getting the best of the athletes over there. They're going to other sports. Uh, Canada is very close to cracking it into super. That would be interesting. And that's right. Downtown, you got so many players that don't make the cut for, say, NFL that would definitely make good rugby players. But you need to be playing at a high level all the time. I mean, you've got the guys that can give the hits and probably take it, and yeah, they're not playing it from childhood. That's the thing, Gunner. Although you know, uh, they would have the athletic ability. They're big, they're fast. That's what you need for rugby. Yeah, amazing that Beavis that Australia's rated so lowly. I would have put Australia up at number two behind New Zealand, maybe. I'm not sure if that's you're talking union or league though.